Welcome to Even Tacos Fall Apart, where we talk about navigating the ups and downs of life with a focus on mental health. I'm MommaFoxFire, and in today's episode, we're diving into the world of entrepreneurship and its impact on mental health. Being an entrepreneur can be an exhilarating and fulfilling path, but it also comes with unique challenges and pressures. The pursuit of success, the constant uncertainty, the demands of building and running a business can take a toll on one's mental and emotional well-being. In this episode, we'll embark on a candid conversation about the mental health aspects of entrepreneurship with Gianna Marie Rahmani. We'll explore the common struggles entrepreneurs face, such as stress, burnout, imposter syndrome, and the pressure of maintaining a side hustle on top of a 9-to-5. G will share some of her own story with us, including insights and practical strategies for maintaining well-being while pursuing your entrepreneurial dreams. Whether you are a side hustler yourself, aspiring to start your own business, or simply interested in doing what you can to maintain your sanity on top of a day job, this episode is for you. Our goal is to provide a safe space for reflection, inspiration, and practical tips to navigate the entrepreneurial roller coaster with resilience and self-care. So let's dive into this insightful conversation on Even Tacos Fall Apart, because even when tacos do fall apart, entrepreneurs can rise, learn, and succeed in both business and mental well-being. Yes, perfect. All right, cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Mental Health Monday. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm super excited. Tonight, we're going to be speaking with our guest about entrepreneurship and mental health, which is something we have talked about a little bit on this channel, but not a lot. So, and in this one, we get to offer some solutions that might help with some things a little bit. So I'm excited to talk about that tonight. Our guest is Gianna Rahmani. She is often referred to as G and is known as first and foremost for her passionate love for and devotion to her husband, Farad, and two boys, Nicholas and Dominic. G is the type of person you want in your corner. She would do anything in her power to help those in need. Filipino-American, she immigrated to the U.S. in 1990 when she was 7 years old. She grew up in New Jersey and, I just lost my place there. And moved to El Sobrante, California. Yes, yep. G is half of F and G, which is Farhad and Gianna, and is the author of Day Hustle, Receive the Benefits of a Day Job While You Grow Your Side Hustle. Retired at 39 from a 20-year career, G is now focusing on her businesses and investments from warm and sunny Florida. Together, F and G hustle to the honeymoon life, what they've characterized as a life focused on love and adventure, and one that you don't need a vacation from, which sounds like a dream. They don't shy away from taking risks and making bold moves as long as they have a plan, have faith, and do it together. They want to inspire others to do the same and are the original angel employers looking to help others break free from the golden handcuffs of so-called job security through the book's namesake, Day Hustle LLC. If you are interested in connecting with Gianna on any of these websites, here's a list of socials, website, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. All of that is going into the chat now. Feel free to pop over to any of those and connect over there. And if you have any questions tonight, we do have a question queue open. The way to enter into that queue is to type exclamation point Q, follow it with your question. That'll be entered and we'll make sure to ask it. So that was a lot of talking for me. Gianna, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight.
I should thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to everybody about this opportunity.
Absolutely. You had a career in property management. What led you to that job originally?
So I think, I call it fate, I guess. When I applied to several schools for college, and I was living in Baltimore at the time, actually. That was where I was for high school. And I don't know, it wasn't like I wanted to get away from my family, but I applied to several schools in California. I wanted to go to California. And it so happened that I chose a school, University of California, Berkeley. And I got accepted, like I said, by chance for the spring semester, which starts in January. And as you know, most people start school in August for the fall semester. So I really needed a job for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I found the busiest block in El Sobrante, California, which is where I was staying. And I gave out my resume to every single business. And my last resume happened to be, I gave it to this real estate company. And they said, well, we don't have any openings, but our sister company is a property management company. And there is a person that is on maternity leave. So she was on maternity leave for 3 months. I needed a job for 3 months from, when my friends started going to school in fall to when I was going to start school in January. And that was the beginning of something that, I'm going to be in for forever. Property management and real estate, really. It's just changed my life. So that's how I got started in it, to make a long story short.
I love that, because there are a lot of things that, people don't realize how you get into some careers. It's like some of it's just chance. Some of it, you want to do as a kid, and you go to school for it, and you wind up doing this thing that you're really passionate about it. But like my career, I stumbled on. So it was great. It's what I feel like I am meant to do. I'm good at doing it and everything. So it's one of those things you just don't always recognize how you get to do certain careers and that kind of thing. So it's really interesting.
This is probably a topic that will come up a lot. But everyone that I talked to or talked to in the property management field fell into it. Nobody chose it. They might choose real estate. Property management is such a challenging job. You're dealing with people's investments, but it's very high stress. You're dealing with sometimes petty things like, neighbors being noisy or pets pooping in your yard and things like that. And, and I enjoyed it. And again, we'll probably talk about this later, but it wasn't something that I chose. It wasn't something that I wanted and really was passionate about. Mm-hmm. So that led to, everything I think that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. I seem to be having a little bit of an audio issue on my side. So I'm just going to take a moment to try to fix that, because I am not sure what's going on and I don't want it to be super distracting for everyone else. Man, I don't know why it's doing that. That's bizarre. Okay, hold on. I can fix this. I believe in myself. I'm just going to real quick add a... And we also believe in you. I appreciate that for sure. Had a little lag, but just set the resolution to 116, then back to 720p. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing this. Let's see. All right, so we want it to open. I'm just going to set a couple thresholds to eliminate what's happening real quick. And I don't want to close threshold, just leave it. Okay, let's see. Can you speak just a little bit so I can see if it's fixed it?
Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Sound better?
Man, I don't know what it's doing. I am so sorry about this, y'all. Give me just a minute. I'm gonna fix this a different way. Okay. It's like, so what was happening is somehow it was hearing you from my headphones into my mic. Okay, speak just a little more for me.
Okay, yeah, I don't hear anything different on my end. It sounds good.
Now it's not doing it. I don't know. Maybe no one else heard it. Maybe it was just me seeing it on the screen over there. Hopefully not. Okay, but I think we're good. We should be fine. I'm going to turn myself down a little bit because I'm going up a little too high, but we should be perfectly fine now. So Thank y'all, as always, for hanging in there through all my many technical difficulties. They happen a lot. So before your career and everything, you immigrated from the Philippines in 1990 at the age of 7. Looking back, what were some of the biggest challenges for your family or for you personally? And what were some of your favorite things about moving?
As far as challenges go, I don't think I really felt challenges. So I don't know if I just don't pay attention to them. I'm generally a very positive person. So I really had to think about this. So my mom worked Philippine Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
So she was I guess, when you fly with somebody that works for the airlines, you fly on standby, which is obviously a great benefit. But we ended up as a family moving from the Philippines on standby. So what I actually remember is sleeping in the aisle, because it's a very long flight. First of all, it's like 21 hours. And I remember in the middle of the night, my sister and I had to give up our seats because the stewardesses needed to rest. So I remember cuddling up with her in the aisle, with blankets and things. I remember that. When we first moved to the U.S., we lived in an attic apartment in New Jersey. So when you think of an attic, like half of it was unfinished. And then this is a family of 6, right? It's my parents, my 2 brothers, me, and my sister. So, I guess that could be seen as a challenge, living in such a tight space. My parents had a room. My brothers slept in the sofa bed in the living room. And then my sister and I shared another bedroom. And then, one of the things that always makes me reminisce is, these big tote containers, like Rubbermaid containers. Mm-hmm. Those were our dressers. Oh, so, that's what I remember from moving. The funny things that I remember is us, the thing is, in the Philippines, you do learn English in school. So that I know helped a lot. But as far as the sayings and expressions that you don't hear until you're in a country, right? Like you hear like book English, but when you hear them here, it's like playing around with those sayings. And my friends would be like, "Wait, what did you say?" And then I backtrack and I'm like, I didn't say that saying at all. So that, but I really obviously it was for our parents were pursuing opportunities that we wouldn't have in another country. And that really, built a really solid foundation for our American pride. I think there are some people that forget about how great this country is. And, that's really important for me is to know like how great we have it here.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of, we were talking about languages before we started recording also. And there's a lot of, you learn things in books and then it's not exactly how it's spoken. So the spoken kind of conversational way. And then of course there are plenty of phrases and stuff that they just don't put into books.
Yeah.
Were there any that you remember from childhood? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So when you go to a bar, right, like the bottomless drinks where, you could just keep going. Mm-hmm. And I use that in a sentence. And I was I was 7. So I was second grade. And I said like, yeah, like bottoms up or like bottomless. And they're like, wait, what did you say? And we're talking about like milk in a carton. Mm-hmm. And so I just remember something specific about like totally using that expression wrong. And the idiot, word idiot. My sister thought it was like a term that was like positive, and I was like, no, it's not. It's like totally a negative word. Like, don't call somebody idiot. And then just a couple things like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, idiot is definitely not a good one. Not a good thing. So you were right on that.
She will tell me that I was the one that said it was a positive and she was negative.
She's misremembering in her favor then.
Right?
Yes. Do you have a serial killer or true crime story that fascinates you?
That's funny. So, It's funny that, you sent this over, and I didn't watch it. I watched the first episode. I don't watch true crime or serial documentaries, but the documentary on Adnan Syed, I don't know if you've heard of that. But funny story. So I think it ended up on Netflix, but it was somebody that was put into jail for supposedly killing his girlfriend in high school. And I have to bring this up because the documentary features the guy's best friend. And I went to high school with the guy's best friend.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so it kind of just hit close to home. And apparently after 20 years, this guy was freed last year in 2022.
Oh, wow.
Apparently DNA evidence came up, and he was released after 20 whatever years. So I have to bring that up. I didn't watch it. I'm not into like true crime and serial and things like that. And we talked about it. I'm into like rom-coms and, Turkish series and stuff. But I do want to bring that up because that was a really interesting twist to that, I guess.
Kind of have that connection, that real life connection to something.
It's crazy though,
That's one of the things that I guess made me interested in true crime, were some kind of family things that happened in a true crime realm. And so it was one of those things. Like I think I was interested before that happened, but then that happened and it was just like, all right, let's watch some stuff about things like this that happened to try to learn more about the circumstances that were going on. But then it's kind of led into, okay, let's watch all these shows. There's a show on Netflix and there's a show on Hulu and there's all this stuff. Things like I Survived, or things like Criminal Minds even, which is it's not true. Like those aren't true things, but they're about the BAU and stuff. So that's just interesting to me.
That's a good question.
Yeah. You retired at the age of 39. Is that something that did you set a goal to like, I want to retire before I reach 40? And then how did you manage to retire at 39?
So I mentioned, or I kind of mentioned that I met my husband in real estate. I didn't mention it, but I met my husband in real estate at that first job. So actually, I didn't mention this, I know. So the lady that was on maternity leave happened to be working in the same office that my future husband was working in. So that's how we met. And again, story of fate, but that's how we met. And so we ended up dating. And then when we got married, I finished school. We had our first son. My mom in Baltimore said, move back here so we can all be together. So we moved to Baltimore and still continued with the property management real estate career. One of the conferences that I had to go to for work was in Florida. And both my husband and I, we went and we just fell in love with Florida. And we decided that we'd eventually move here. We're here now. So in 2018, that's when we relocated to Florida. And our decision was that Farhad, my husband, wouldn't go back to traditional work in real estate and property management. He would take care of our properties, our investments. And then I would continue on doing business development for a similar company, a property management company. So that's what we did. And then so he came to Florida, and technically he retired. He stopped working for other people, and that's how I see retirement as. Neither of us, we're both very active people, so we don't see retirement as not doing anything all day. It's, being free to do what we want, being our own boss. Yeah. So I do want to make that, clarify that. I retired from my corporate career at 39. So, but when we moved here and he technically retired, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to be 40 in 2023. It was 2018. And you know what? Maybe I want to retire like my husband come time for 40. It was a nice round number. But when that idea came, it was just an idea. And I didn't really you know, plan on it didn't become a plan, so to speak, the way, you have a goal and you're like, okay, how do I reach this goal? When we moved in 2018, I'm like, all right, he's retiring, I want to retire when I'm 40. And not until I turned 39, which was in February. I turned 39 last year in February, and I'm like, oh, well, I have 1 year left to reach my goal. And I haven't really done anything, like I was working for this great company, and I was an employee, but I was their employee. I signed up for it and I was committed to this job, and I was all in on doing the best that I could. So that meant that I wasn't focusing on what am I going to do to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But 39 came along. I just was promoted like 6 months before. So it's funny, when I turned 39, it was like a week after this promotion required me to do more responsibilities, more work. I I was traveling like 2.5 hours on a particular day, where I was like, how do I get out of this? And then my husband always sends me like books to read, or, well, audiobooks to listen to. He doesn't like to read visually. He likes audiobooks. And he sent me Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if you guys know him, but his famous book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He has multiple other books. So I read, around that birthday, I read Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. So all of this kind of spurred, and I was like, okay, I have a year left to retire. I just got more work from this company that's paying me great, but I'm traveling more than I want to. I hate driving. And so I was like, I need to do something. And, I always dreamed of being a published author. And I was like, man, I wish somebody would pay me the steady paycheck, give me health insurance to do what I want to do. Because those were the two things that were holding me back as a mom, as a wife, being the person that had the family health plan and that steady income. Those were the ones that were holding me back and were keeping me in this job.
Yeah.
So that's when everything kind of happened, was when I turned 39 last year.
Yeah. It's really cool. I mean, it's nice to be able to not work for someone else, because everybody complains about like multi-level marketing pyramid schemes, but I mean, corporations are kind of the same, but no one complains about it because it's the way that everything works. So, it's really neat that you're able to kind of lean into that and follow what your husband did a little bit too, and just like focus on what y'all wanted to do. And writing, we were just talking about writing with my family just recently. My dad is very loosely thinking about writing a book. He is retired. He was a fireman. He is definitely retired. But and then we were talking about the need to read books. So it's nice to hear that reflected back. It's one of those things, you hear something one time and then you hear it 3 times in the following day. And just kind of the if you want to get into kind of writing, getting into the kind of reading and listening to books and that sort of thing, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's many outlets for somebody that likes to write. And I want to put it out there for especially somebody for your dad, like your dad. There's blogs where, I have a blog, and I do it at my will and my pleasure.
Yeah.
There's no rules. Like, I don't have to write every single day for it to become a job for me, right? I do it because when something comes to my mind, and I write. I wanted to be a published author, and I found somebody that could help me through it. And, another resource. Like, there's so many people out there that can help you make your dreams come true. And that's one of the things that I found through this process.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of us have a tendency to, and myself included, I am no different from everybody else, but most of us tend to work for the weekends. Do you feel like there is anything inherently wrong with that mentality?
Yes, I do. And it's funny because we just talked about my blog. My blog is called fwordsaremyfavorite.com. And nothing bad. I actually hardly use the F word. I won't say I never do. But family, fun, faith, fitness, food, freedom, and fulfillment. And one of my
I love
most
that.
recent blogs was TGIF. And the new meaning of TGIF for me is not thank God it's Friday, but thank God I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wrote in this blog is basically, the weekend, if you're living for the weekend, you're living for less than 29% of your days.
That is true.
We have to ask ourselves, like, what would it take for us to truly live at 100%? So, I highly encourage people to take a look at it. Again, it's fwordsaremyfavorite.com. This is completely separate from, what we're mainly talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we shouldn't be waiting for a certain time to live.
Yeah.
And certainly living for the weekend is exactly what that means. Is you're putting off 5 days a week for two,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone knows about the Sunday scaries or the the Monday blues. One day of those 2 days, you're already worried about the rest of it. So I think I think we need to put ourselves in a position where we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's the truth. Because like Saturdays, you're able to kind of fully relax and chill and do what you want to do. And then Sunday rolls around and you're like, oh, I got to get ready for Monday already. Well, I put your blog into the chat. So if anybody wants to check out the blog, you're welcome to click through to that and check it out too. So
yeah, it's like it's Sunday fun day, but just for like the first part of it.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, like 6 comes around, I'm like, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yep. Well, and the kids have to go to bed on time. And you have to make sure their school stuff is ready if you have school-age kids like I do. And you got to make sure your work stuff is ready, especially if you have to go into an office and you got the right clothes ready. It's just such a bummer. Weekends need to be longer. If nothing else changes, I feel like weekends need to be longer. That would be my wish for sure.
I agree.
So, do you think our current oh man, I'm going to start that one over. Do you think our current work culture, and I'm talking, big businesses and capitalism and gig economy, just the things that you hear people throw around, especially the panic that was kind of driven by the pandemic of job security. Do you think that culture encourages kind of this hustle till you drop attitude or mentality? And what is the best way? Is that the best way to go about things?
What we're going to talk about, what my book is about, Day Hustle, is meant to redefine the hustle culture.
Yeah.
So personally, I love the concept of hustling. As I mentioned, even for my day job, I love being all in and committed and doing the best that I could. That's how I was raised, and that's just inherent to me. Like, give me something, and I want to be the best at it.
Yeah.
But with angel employment, which is the concept that we're going to be talking about today, we don't have to. Just like we're saying we don't have to work 5 days just to have a good weekend, I don't think we need to kill ourselves now for even 1 year, 2 year, 5 years that the hustle culture is promoting just to have this extravagant life later. I think we could do both now. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm excited about talking about angel employment and day hustle.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. You founded Day Hustle to help alleviate some of these pain points. So tell us about it. What is angel employment? What are some of the benefits to the employee? And then what are some of the benefits to the investor as well? All
right. So I think most of us have heard about side hustles.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's, basically everyone has their day job. And then they have the side hustle. And the side hustle is it might be something that you're doing to fulfill like a hobby. Like it's something fun and maybe it made sense to monetize it, right? Or people are doing side hustles because they do need to supplement their day job, their primary income. Or they know that entrepreneurship is the way to go. Like they seek that freedom of being their own boss, and they already understand that being a W-2 employee, you're paying yourself last. Everything's going to taxes before you, and this and that, before you even get your paycheck. So the thing is that when you have a 9-to-5 job, when do you work on your side hustle? Right. And so like Gary Vaynerchuk and, these entrepreneurs, they have to work their 9-to-5 and then they work a 7 to 2 a.m. strategy. So if you're working all day, where's the time for self-improvement, self-care, exercise, sleep, family, having fun? Right. So again, that hustle culture is work these 18 to 24-hour days, because once your business gets big enough, you'll be able to retire and live the life of your dreams in 5 years from now. Well, you know what? Tomorrow's not guaranteed. 5 years from now is not guaranteed. So angel employment solves the problem that I had. Okay. As I mentioned, I was wishing that somebody would pay me the steady paycheck and give me the health insurance to pursue my dreams. And what I read from Robert Kiyosaki's books is, if you want something, give it away first. So I took that concept, I really pondered on that concept, and I'm like, okay, well, if this is what I want, how do I pay people a steady paycheck? How do I give them health insurance for them to do what they want to do? So that the angel employment concept was born. So if you're an entrepreneur or if you're in a side hustle, if you've ever watched Shark Tank, you've probably heard of the term angel investor. Angel investors give large sums of money to help businesses grow and scale. And that money is typically used for business expenses, right? How do I buy like the packaging for my product, or how do I market my product, whatever. Well, my issue was, personal expenses. All right. How do I make sure that, if I quit my day job, how am I going to make sure that food's on the table, roofs over our heads, and I can take my kids to the doctor if I had to? So angel employment is to solve that problem. It's to take care of your personal expenses while you grow your business. So let me backtrack. It's really as simple as my book's subtitle is. So my book's called Day Hustle. And the subtitle is Receive the Benefits of a Day Job While You Grow Your Side Hustle. So imagine a job description. Your pay is your current salary, benefits, health insurance, access to other insurance, a 401k to roll over your money into. Job description, not to grow my business, to grow yours. So I was actually on Fox Business on national TV a couple of weeks ago, talking to the original shark, Kevin Harrington. And he called it a phenomenon because basically we're giving you 8 hours of your day back. 40 hours a week of your life back to be able to pursue your dream without giving up the steady income. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's really cool. So where does that money come from? I mean, how do you pay people to do this? Is it just waiting on that return on investment whenever they make it, or is there something else behind the scenes?
No, so ideally, our target audience is side hustlers, right? They're people that already understand that the side hustle is needed, that moving towards the direction of being our own boss and being an entrepreneur is the goal. So our target audience are side hustlers. And, there's two things with side hustling. It's either you're spending all your time on your day job and your side hustle to grow that business, or you're spending all your time on your day job and then not sacrificing time with family and exercise and all that stuff, and your business isn't growing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's our target audience. So ideally or hypothetically, you're making, let's say, 50,000, 100,000 from your day job, and then your business is making 20% equivalent of that salary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our goal is to hire you to quit your day job, pay you to quit your day job. All right. And we'll pay you that salary that you need to cover your personal expenses.
Mm-hmm.
But the 8 hours a day, that all the creativity and all the hard work and all that time that you're putting into growing someone else's business, you now focus onto your own business.
Right.
To the point where your profits grow and eventually not just covers the salary that you were making, but the return on investment that we're going to put in you.
Okay.
So nothing's ever out of pocket.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're investing in you, and obviously investors are looking for a return on the investment. But in this case, you're retiring faster, you're growing a business faster, you're not having to be distracted by worrying about where the income is coming,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's ever out of pocket.
So
it's a lot to wrap your head around, but it's so simple. It's crazy. And that's why I can't believe Kevin called it a phenomenon, and I'll go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so. All right. So, I mean, how did you start it though? Like, how did you go from this would be cool if someone would do this for me, pay me this much money to do what I want to do? How did you go from that idea to then funding the ability to do that? Do you have other investors, I guess is what I'm asking. Like, do you reach out to other people to kind of help fund those salaries of folks so that they can focus on what they want to do?
That's a great question. So right now, I'm the proof of concept. I use the concept that we came up with on myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 39, I was working for this company, great company. Hence the golden handcuffs, right? Some people are in rusty handcuffs. They hate their job and they want to get out, but that steady paycheck and health insurance is still keeping them imprisoned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as I mentioned, my husband and I, we invest in properties and everything like that. COVID's going on. All the talks of, the market crashing was going on. And we'll always be in real estate and we'll always be investing in real estate. But we also knew that investing in businesses is something that we needed to pivot to. Yeah. Part of the plan. Mm-hmm. So here comes Gianna that wants to start a business, a writing business, and she has a great idea to write her book about angel employment. So let's make her proof of concept. Mm-hmm. So we created Day Hustle, an LLC, and we invested in Gianna. So now we're going to pay Gianna to quit her day job and give her the income that she's used to so that she's not worried about income, and give her time to focus on writing her book that she wants, because she wants to be a published author, and focus on selling that book. Well, so here comes me. I quit my day job. It's in June. So it's, my birthday was February. I couldn't even wait till I was 40 to retire. I left in June. Uh-huh. And, but I didn't have to give up the paycheck. I had Day Hustle paying me a paycheck, and at least 8 hours a day. I was finishing writing my book. I was talking to my publisher about how to market that book, and everything. I talked to a few publishers. They said, oh, well, it takes a lot to publish a book. You need, 6 months. Some people said up to 18 months to do all the steps, getting the cover, getting it proofread, all the steps of, to become a published author. Because I had this time and focus and energy, and because I was doing something that I wanted to do, I published a book within 4 months, #1 bestseller,
Wow.
international bestseller on Amazon.
That's amazing.
And so, thank you. Now, this book, it's directed to those side hustlers that want to become what we're calling day hustlers. But there's a bonus chapter called addressed to the angel employers. So, obviously my funds are going to be limited at some point.
Sure.
But we can get investors that, we're talking to investors that invest as angel investors, they invest as venture capitalists, they invest in the stock market, they invest in real estate, what have you. There's different ways to invest. So we're talking to people and telling them, if you invest as an angel employer, there's there's multiple benefits, but there's two biggest considerations when you're an investor. One is to maximize your return.
Sure.
And 2, to minimize your risk. Well, with angel employment, you minimize your risk because instead of putting a large sum of money and hoping that this business succeeds, you're investing money in terms of biweekly paychecks. So if 1 month or 2 months or 3 months down the road comes and, this person's business plan's just not, it's not cutting it, then your loss is minimized to those 3 months worth of salaries than that large sum of money that you invested in typical angel investment. But 2, and more positive, which is why, start with the bad news, go with the good news.
Right.
The good news is that you're investing in a business that's inherently more prone to succeeding. Because why? The business founder is putting all their focus, all their energy in the business. They're not distracted by a day job. They're not distracted by worrying about putting food on the table or a roof over their head.
And it's something that they're already passionate about, right? Like it's what they want to be doing. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And, and you're changing lives at the same time. So, there's nothing better than, forget about money, forget about investing and all that stuff. But on the day hustler side, pursuing their passion and just living happier. Same with the investor being able to help people live happier lives. There's nothing more fulfilling than that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is there anyone who would not be a good candidate for this angel employment scenario?
I think, I wrote the book so that it would bring awareness. What I realized in reading the book and talking to people is that we have very different, we can all be at different points of knowledge and understanding of different concepts, right? So there are some people that I talk to that retirement is working day in, day out till you're 67 and then getting Social Security benefits. Social Security, 1, was never meant to fund your retirement. It was supposed to supplement it. And 2, it's depleting. So, you might not even get to see those benefits, right? There are some people that still need to learn skills, right? So a day job is good. And like Robert Kiyosaki said, you should have a job for learning. So, you could still be in that position where you need to learn sales skills or, business management skills, money management skills. So, that's important to learn too. And if it means that you need to be in a day job to do it because you have that mentality, by all means, get yourself prepared to get to that entrepreneurial route. But once you're there, and it's, what you want to pursue, that your day job is holding you back. day hustle is a way for you to pursue your passion without, like you said, killing yourself and just living for the weekend.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's a great concept. I think that it's a really neat thing. And I love that it gives you in particular exposure to a lot of these different things that people want to do and that they're passionate about doing. I think that that's something that not everybody understands, what people do for side hustles and what they do versus their day job and what they would want to do if they didn't have to worry about their day job. So those golden handcuffs you talk about,
Right.
they're real. Like that job security. Health insurance is huge. If you go, even on the marketplace or whatever, it's still really expensive. So you got to have a way to cover that.
It
takes that risk.
It's unaffordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is unaffordable if you're not on a group plan.
Yeah. In your experience working with other entrepreneurs, what are some of the most predominant struggles that people face when committing to a side hustle?
There's a couple things. One is fear and self-doubt. I think, nothing comes easy. We're trying to make it easier, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. So you get scared, you doubt yourself. So what I tell people is, have faith. Remember what you didn't like about your previous position. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. And remember that you're already built, like right now, if you're in a day job, you're already building a business, just not yours.
Mm-hmm.
So all the creativity, all the hard work, all the work ethic that you're putting into your day job, you can do for yourself. It's just learning that thought process, that mindset, that accountability of, okay, I need to get this done, not for someone else because I might get in trouble or because somebody gave me a deadline. You just set those for yourself. Also burnout and mental breakdowns, I think, from, just doing it all on your own and going all in and, having to work nonstop because that's your only source of income, and it has to work. So when we apply the concept of angel employment, you get those 8 hours a day, and then you still get the rest of the day to relax, to rest, to enjoy your family, enjoy your life. And, that's one of the biggest things that you read about and hear about is mental breakdowns being reported by entrepreneurs because all they're doing is working, day job, and then their business.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned burnout because even if you're not working a 9 to 5, if you're an entrepreneur, people have a tendency to just throw their whole selves into something that they're passionate about. And maybe you're not working that 9 to 5, so you have those hours back to work on your side hustle, which can now be kind of your main hustle or your day hustle. And, but it's draining to just put all of your energy out there and on the table like that, whether it's a 9 to 5 plus a side hustle or you've turned your side hustle into your day hustle. Do you have any advice to keep from burning out?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely put yourself in a position where, doing what you love, I don't think you should stop. There's no limit as to the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing what you love, do it 24 hours a day. But if you put yourself in a position where if you do need to do something else, if you do need a break, you can. And the only way you can do that 100% is being your own boss.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I was in golden handcuffs, right? So I enjoyed my paid vacations. But when I was on vacation, was the job that I was in something that I really couldn't disconnect from 100%?
Right.
In property management, no, because there's emergencies. I was in business development of property management. So, there were people that required proposals, on Christmas Day. And, so as much as I was on vacation, I put myself in a position to be able to take 2-week vacation between Christmas and New Year's. If somebody wanted a proposal in the middle of that time, I had to do it.
Yep.
Now, my husband and I, we actually started a food truck business.
Oh,
And
cool.
when we're on vacation, there's no emergencies saying, you know what, I need a kebab burger like tomorrow, right?
Right.
Like I can totally disconnect. We built a community of foodies, so to speak, and and it's not something where like people might enjoy the community management if that's your thing and that's your passion, sure, right? But it's pursuing your personal passion.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're able to do something where you can go on vacation and just not pick up your phone, like I am awful about this. I am technically supposed to be on vacation this week. I was doing work today. I had meetings to attend today. I've got meetings that I have to attend tomorrow, and it's one of those things that's like, no, I'm not going anywhere for this vacation. It's a staycation because my kids are off from spring break and I wanted to spend some extra time with them. Plus, I have this home office project going on right now that is causing a mess off camera. But it's one of those things that I have a hard time disconnecting sometimes. And there's maybe one vacation a year that I take where I'm completely out of contact. And if I don't go out of the country for that vacation, I probably will still have my phone on me. So it's hard. It can be really hard.
It is. Well, that speaks to the concept of the honeymoon life that we mentioned in my bio, is living a life that you don't need a vacation from.
Yeah.
So my family and I, we go on vacations. We go on, we travel. But is it to get away from people direct messaging us about, how great our kebab burger was and how they want another one? No. It's not to run away from that. When I was in property management, was it to run away from a question about, this violation notice I get? Absolutely, it was. I wanted to get away from that. So there's a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there some common things that people should be aware of when it comes to protecting their mental health as entrepreneurs? Like if you're able to not work that 9 to 5, you're able to turn that 9 to 5 into your main hustle. Is there anything like mental health challenge wise or pitfalls that remain even with that change?
Yeah, I think, being your own boss and having a company, definitely there's going to be challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be positive. You need to, again, go back to the strengths that you have, because when you are faced with challenges, you want to be able to focus on how to overcome it. Yeah. And so, it's easy to doubt yourself. It's easy to think, okay, you know what, maybe I'm not good enough. So those are the challenges that you need to go through. And it's okay if you need to talk with others. There's so many people, like there's so many resources, whether it's mental health professionals or business professionals that can give you resources to make it a little bit easier. So there's definitely challenges in growing a business. So you need to figure out ways to cope or get over or maneuver through them. Yeah.
So something that you said just kind of sparked a question in my mind. But you mentioned, connecting with other business professionals and everything. Do y'all have any sort of like networking for the folks that you employ through Day Hustle? Do you have any like, hey, if you need to talk to somebody about this, I've got a great opportunity for you to talk to this person over here? Or is that something that you're trying to develop or anything like that?
Yeah. I think, so Jim Rohn said your network is your net worth. Mm-hmm. Or your net worth is your network. Either way, it works, right? Yeah. But everyone that I talk to about angel employment, they're either mental health professionals, or they're business coaches, or they provide accounting services, they provide marketing services, or what have you. So we envision that day hustlers will be part of a network of people that are constantly trying, needing certain services
Hmm.
and wanting to help people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So, yeah, I mean, and it's like Luke Bryan's song goes, like most people are good. Like I said, my family and I, we started a food truck business. And do you know how much support we get from other food trucks? It's not about competition.
Hmm.
It's really like there's enough business to go around, and there's people that are willing you and wanting you to succeed.
Hmm.
And
I
it's
love that.
amazing the kind of community that you can build with being on your own, and if you want to help other people, and other people will want to help you too, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. That's not necessarily related to what we were talking about with burnout or anything, but it just kind of popped in my head, so I wanted to ask. But is there anything you do now in terms of self-care or other things to prevent burnout or other mental health struggles?
I think everything I do is part of my self-care. Like I do things that I want to do and that I'm okay with, or and if it's something that like I'd rather not do, then I do something to make that change,
Hmm.
right? Like you don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to keep the situation that you're in. Um, you know, like I love spending time with my family.
Hmm.
And, that's self-care to me. It doesn't have to be all by myself, self-care, right? That's what gives me energy. That's what reminds me why I do what I do.
Hmm.
Um, I have a vision board, and top of the list is, and top of the pictures are being with my husband. So maybe starting a business might not be ideal for some, but
Hmm.
or might not be as lucrative in one way, shape, or form. It will pay off eventually, but to be physically next to him all day, every day, that's self care to me because I'm doing what I want. And then
Right.
there's other things like exercise, and like I love eating, so I'll eat. Um, we cook good food in our food truck.
Hmm.
But we talked about watching like Turkish shows, like just unplugging
Hmm.
sometimes. Um, for me, I actually self-diagnose, not self-diagnosed, like professionally diagnosed. I have hypersomnia. So I
Hmm.
need more sleep than other people actually. So there are days when like first of all, we have the freedom to close our business up if we need to take a day off or if we need to, go on a trip. And there's been a day where like I slept all day.
Yeah.
So it's doing what I need to do or what I want to do to make me happy, um, is the best self-care ever.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. It sounds like you know your body, you know what you need very well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it
So we
is.
do have a
I'm
community
blessed.
question that was sent in, and that is from Bite Mark. She wants to know, what is your favorite poem?
What is my favorite poem? So, what a great question. And this might give you insight to me for sure. Um, I am not a poem person, to be 100% honest. So when I saw that question come up, I googled happy poems. Like I wanted a happy poem, and if I didn't see a poem that like I connected with, I was gonna Google poems that rhyme. To be honest, but what's funny was I googled happy poems because again I'm a very positive person, and the poem, let me just make sure I don't butcher it. But Hope is the Thing with Feathers came up by Emily Dickinson.
Hmm.
And two things that I want to say. One, I really like this because I heard Hope is the Thing with Feathers in a Hallmark show that I love. It was a movies, and then it became a series called Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Oh, nice.
and absolutely love it. But it's obviously about hope, and hope is such a positive thing, and hope is really what keeps us going. And if you're not generally a happy person or not generally a positive person, I do believe that there's hope in everybody and deep down inside, where, it keeps you going, because life, God, the universe, it's all meant to be good. And I just love the concept of hope and love and happiness and positivity. So that's what I would say, especially if I was a poetry and a poem person.
Yeah.
I think that would have come up first for sure.
I love that. Do you have like a favorite song or anything that's about like hope and all these things?
I love Luke. I mentioned it. That's funny. I love Luke Bryan's song, Most People Are Good.
Okay.
I started years ago when I actually started watching the Signed, Sealed, Delivered show. I started what's called the Delivering Love Project. And it's so easy for people to share a post or repost, somebody's post about something negative or something that's terrible going on in the world. And I think that it's equally easy to share positive news and happy news, and to what I kept hearing from people was, we need more of this good stuff in the world, or we need more of you in the world, and we need more of that in the world. And I really felt like if we took the time to recognize the good in the world, that's just as important. If we recognize that most people are good, we just don't hear about it. It's sexier or more fascinating to share about the bad people, that all the good people and all the positivity kind of gets drowned out. But I still think that most people are good. Most things are positive. Most things are happy. And so, that I love that song.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Also, Carrie Underwood, Love Wins. Yeah, Love Wins.
Okay.
Carrie Underwood sings that.
Love Wins.
I think love does win, and yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Well, I opened those two in a tab over here. I'll have to listen to them later.
Great songs.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. The things that people put out that are negative or hateful or hurtful or those kinds of things, I feel like they get a lot more attention than the things that are positive sometimes. And I agree. They're the things that are positive, that are good, that are happy, that are sharing something with a nice message instead of a hateful message or a controversial message even, are just as deserving of our time and attention. So that's great. One of my favorite creators on TikTok, she's got all of these, like, she ends most of them with like a "keep it up, cutie, I like what you're doing" kind of thing. And it's just so cute. It's so amazing. It's so refreshing to kind of see that, especially when all of the stuff that pops up on TikTok or YouTube or whatever is just these viral videos of fights on an airplane and stuff like that. So okay, so I'm gonna see.
They can still be entertaining,
They
like,
can.
I'm
yes,
not going to deny that. If it's entertaining, it's entertaining.
Yes.
Definitely, like my heart, it's heartwarming to see all the good stuff, and that's entertainment.
Yes,
it's entertainment. It's what makes you feel good. So.
Yep. Oh, Bite Mark says, I know the TikToker you're talking about. I love her too. I post her stuff in our Discord a lot because it just makes me so happy. So I have to share it with people. But it's great. My favorite thing, one of my favorite things that she does is she's in somewhere where it snows all the time, which I am not. I'm in Texas. It doesn't snow here. You're in Florida. It probably doesn't snow there either, but she gets lots of snow, and she has a vacuum cleaner, and she just shows herself like vacuum cleaning outside in the snow. Obviously not really vacuuming.
But, I wish I knew that trick.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's just like, you don't have to be super productive today. Look at me, I'm vacuuming snow.
Hey, we definitely had our fair share of snow and didn't like it. Hence, we packed up and left.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, Maryland gets snow. I guess New Jersey does too. But yeah. Did you get any snow in California? Were you in I know some areas in California get snow.
No, thankfully
No.
not. But like we were in San Francisco Bay Area, right? So it wasn't
Okay.
the California that you think of when you think of Malibu and LA. It
Yeah.
was, cold, windy, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is time for our magic moment. So if you could, oh no, it's not working. I have a magic wand. I was hoping it was going to work today. It seems to have broken. It started to light up, but now it's not. Well, if you could wave a magic wand and eliminate one common opinion, misconception, or theory surrounding mental illness, disabilities, or talking about mental health, what would it be? Oh, wait, it's going. Oh, I set it down and it started working. Now that's magic for you.
Yay!
There you go.
Let's see. So I truly, truly believe that the words we use internally when we talk to ourselves are so important.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as it is okay to talk about mental health, and certainly having mental health issues doesn't mean that you can't succeed, I wish people wouldn't talk themselves into believing that they have mental health issues either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you think you have a problem, go to a qualified professional and get diagnosed. But I feel like there's some people that are talking themselves into saying, I'm depressed or I have ADHD. Like even myself, like, I love food and I love eating. But I also, when I commit and decide that, you know what, I'm going to be committing to getting healthy and losing weight or whatever I have to, I'm there. So I think that's what I would say is that, it's okay to talk and to have mental health issues, but definitely get qualified professional. Don't tell yourself that you have issues either.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. There's a lot of things that have been popping up lately where it's like, take this, or if you experience these things, you might have ADD, or you might be autistic, or you might be depressed, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but also like, don't rely on a video that you see to tell you that. If you're worried about something, if you're worried about a symptom, or if you're worried about something that is going on in your life, go talk to a professional who can help you, because not only does that give you the correct diagnosis if there is one, but also even if there's not something that's diagnosable on that diagnosable scale, they can help you work through whatever it is. Like that's their job, is to help you work through your shit. Mm-hmm. So if you've got something where you're like, man, I really am struggling with focus, or I really am struggling with getting out of bed in the morning, or whatever, even if it does not reach that level of a diagnosable mental illness, you can still go talk to someone about it. And you should go talk to someone about it instead of just saying, well, this video says that I have this, or this video says that I have that. And there's nothing I can do about it, because everyone's treatment is going to be different no matter what they're going through. It's always going to be personal. So I agree. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate you just taking the time out, and this has been a really cool conversation. Again, I'm going to put your socials in one more time, just so that everybody has them. The website has information on the book, which is Day Hustle. Also LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and then we'll go ahead and I'm going to add your blog. F words are my favorite right here as well. So if you're interested in connecting with Gianna anywhere in any of those, feel free to do so. And Gianna, thank you so much for taking the time out today.
Thank you. This was a really fun conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Even Tacos Fall Apart. I'm here to remind you that your mental health matters, and it is possible to build a thriving business while prioritizing your well-being. I hope that our exploration of entrepreneurship and its impact on mental health has provided you with valuable insights and support. Remember, being an entrepreneur is not just about the success of your business, but also about nurturing your own well-being. Take time to prioritize self-care, set boundaries, and seek support when needed. You are not alone on this journey. If you found this episode helpful, I would super appreciate it if you could leave a positive review and rating on your preferred podcast platform, wherever that may be. Your feedback and engagement really helps reach more folks who may benefit from discussions on mental health, which is what we do here. Remember, even when tacos fall apart, entrepreneurs can rise above challenges, embrace resilience, and create a life and business that aligns with their values and purpose. Until next time, take care of yourself, nurture your dreams, and continue to embrace the journey of entrepreneurship with compassion and self-awareness.